Some places seem to remember. Not in books, not in photographs, but in the silence after dark. In the heart of Edinburgh lies Greyfriars Kirkyard, a graveyard where visitors claim to be scratched by unseen hands, pushed without warning, or overcome by sudden dread. For over 3 centuries it has watched over the dead. But in recent decades it has become known for something else. Hundreds report an invisible presence among the graves, cold spots, strange bruises, and the chilling sense that something is standing just behind them. Now considered one of Britain's most haunted places, Greyfriars raises a question. Are these just stories, or is something here refusing to rest? Tonight we explore the legend of the Greyfriars Kirkyard ghost. To understand why so many people believe Greyfriars Kirkyard is haunted, we first need to travel back more than 300 years. Greyfriars Kirkyard opened in the 16th century after the land, once occupied by Franciscan friars, the Greyfriars from whom the churchyard takes its name, was transformed into Edinburgh's first large municipal cemetery. Thousands upon thousands of Edinburgh's citizens were eventually laid to rest here. Merchants, lawyers, doctors, children, victims of plague, soldiers. The dead from centuries of Scottish history now sleep beneath these weathered stones. By daylight the kirkyard is undeniably beautiful. Ancient monuments lean with age, towering trees stretch over winding pathways. Moss creeps across carved names that have almost disappeared beneath the passage of time. Yet when darkness falls, the atmosphere changes. The city noise fades, the wind whistles between broken monuments. The shadows seem deeper than they should be. For centuries the cemetery earned a quiet reputation as an eerie place. But no one imagined it would become world famous for hauntings. That would change in the late 20th century. At the center of almost every ghost story stands one imposing structure, the Black Mausoleum. Inside rests Sir George Mackenzie. To many historians, Mackenzie was a brilliant lawyer who served as Lord Advocate during the reign of King Charles II. To many Scots, however, he earned another name, Bluidy Mackenzie. The nickname came after his role in the persecution of the Covenanters. These Scottish Presbyterians refused to recognize royal control over the church. Hundreds were imprisoned, many were tortured, some were executed. After the Battle of Bothwell Bridge in 1679, more than 1,000 Covenanter prisoners were marched to Edinburgh. Unable to house so many captives, the authorities confined them within a section of Greyfriars Kirkyard. The area later became known as the Covenanters' Prison. Conditions were appalling. The prisoners had little shelter. Food was scarce. Disease spread quickly. Many died where they lay. Others were later transported overseas or executed. Whether Mackenzie personally ordered every cruelty remains debated among historians, but in Scottish memory, he became forever associated with the suffering that occurred there. When he died in 1691, his body was placed inside an elaborate domed mausoleum overlooking the very ground where many Covenanters had suffered. Some later wondered whether the dead had truly accepted such an arrangement. For nearly 3 centuries, nothing extraordinary was widely reported. Then, in 1998, everything changed. According to numerous accounts, a homeless man seeking shelter entered the Mackenzie mausoleum. While inside, part of the floor supposedly gave way beneath him. He reportedly fell into an old burial chamber below. Panicked, injured, and surrounded by human remains, he scrambled back out before fleeing into the night. The story spread rapidly throughout Edinburgh. Soon afterwards, visitors began claiming they were experiencing strange events around the mausoleum. At first, the reports were subtle, an unexplained chill, a feeling of being watched, an overwhelming urge to leave. Then the encounters became more disturbing. Tour guides began collecting testimonies from visitors who insisted something unseen had touched them. Some claimed invisible hands grabbed their clothing. Others reported being shoved. Several described sudden scratches appearing across their backs or arms. Bruises allegedly formed where no impact had occurred. One witness recalled feeling a sharp burning sensation while standing beside the Black Mausoleum. When they later examined their skin, long red scratches had appeared that had not been there moments before. Another described collapsing without warning after entering the area. Others reported nausea, dizziness, trembling, or overwhelming panic. One of the most frequently repeated experiences is difficult to dismiss, simply because of how often it appears. Visitors repeatedly describe the same overwhelming feeling. They suddenly become convinced someone is standing directly behind them. They turn. No one is there. Yet the sensation refuses to disappear. Many witnesses have also spoken of hearing footsteps following them across the gravel paths. Each time they stop, the footsteps stop. They walk again. The footsteps return. Some visitors have reported hearing heavy breathing close to their ears, despite standing completely alone. Others describe whispers too faint to understand. Perhaps the most unsettling reports come from those who insist they saw an actual figure. Descriptions vary. A dark silhouette moving between headstones. A tall man dressed in black. A shadow that appears solid one moment before vanishing the next. One guide claimed to have watched a dark shape emerge from the direction of the mausoleum before disappearing into the night without making a sound. Photographers have also contributed to the legend. Some visitors believe they have captured unexplained figures standing among the graves. Others point to mysterious lights or mist-like forms appearing in photographs despite clear weather. Skeptics argue that low light, camera limitations, reflections, and expectation can easily produce such images. Believers see something very different. The stories continue to spread. Paranormal investigators arrived carrying cameras, temperature sensors, voice recorders, and electromagnetic detectors. Some claimed to record unexplained cold spots. Others reported equipment behaving erratically. A few investigators insisted they captured strange voices on audio recordings, short whispers that were impossible to identify during the investigation, but became noticeable during later playback. None of these findings have convinced mainstream scientists that ghosts exist. Environmental conditions, psychological expectation, suggestion, and coincidence remain powerful alternative explanations. Yet even today, reports continue, year after year, visitor after visitor. Many arrive believing nothing unusual will happen. Some leave with exactly the same opinion. Others leave deeply shaken. One particularly striking aspect of the Greyfriars stories is how similar many independent accounts appear. People who have never met each other often describe the same intense pressure in the chest, the same overwhelming dread, the same sensation of crossing an invisible boundary near the Black Mausoleum. Whether this is caused by psychology, history, architecture, or something beyond current understanding, remains impossible to prove. There is another reason Greyfriars hold such power over the imagination. Unlike abandoned castles or isolated ruins, hidden deep in the countryside, this cemetery sits within a living city. Office workers pass its gates every day. Tourists walk beside it without realizing the stories attached to its walls. Children visit to see Greyfriars Bobby, the loyal Skye Terrier, whose statue stands just outside the kirkyard. Life continues only meters away. Yet inside those walls, time feels strangely suspended. The weight of centuries hangs in the air. Every gravestone marks another forgotten life. Every monument hides another story. Whether ghosts truly walk these paths is a question no documentary can answer. History gives us facts. Eyewitnesses give us testimony. The truth lies somewhere between belief and skepticism. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not whether Sir George Mackenzie still lingers within his mausoleum. Perhaps it is why so many people, from different countries and different backgrounds, continue to describe remarkably similar experiences after entering the same small corner of Greyfriars Kirkyard. Maybe expectation shapes perception. Maybe fear amplifies ordinary sensations. Or perhaps some places really do remember. If you ever find yourself wandering Edinburgh after sunset, you can still stand outside the Black Mausoleum. You can listen to the wind moving through the ancient trees. Watch the shadows stretching across the old graves, and ask yourself one simple question. If someone whispered your name from the darkness, would you stay long enough to answer?